Welcome to the Smart Business Show, and today we're going to talk, that's episode 108, and we're going to talk about embracing constraints because they're amazing for your business and for your productivity. Now, in the past, I've talked about using OmniFocus or Noseby or Todoist and told you I use these and they're great. And even if you went farther back, I'm sure you'd actually find a post. I think I see my red journal over there, my old original day planner. Let me grab that for the video, actually. Here's my old red day planner, and it's huge, and I don't even know what year it was. 2014. 2014 was the first time I tried out a physical day planner, and this one's actually huge now that I look at it. It's really big, and it's by day. This one is by day. So I went away from that. At the time, I thought it was awesome because it enforced constraints on me. It didn't allow this massive inbox, which is something I fall into with OmniFocus or Todoist or whatever. Pick your poison. Now this year, 2017, I'm holding up again, a little bit smaller, so week, 5 days on a page. Show it to the video people. 5 days on a page, 7 days on a spread, actually, I suppose. And I have embraced that, and I've been using that. Actually, I started using it in December because that one starts in December as my task management planning system. That's it. That's not true. I use Redbooth for my client projects. I embrace the constraint of this. What the paper does not let me do is put in like 9,000 things. So the best I do is, next week I have a post-it note on next week's page, and it gives me some things I need to do. Follow up with somebody, which I already know I don't need to do, so I'm going to scratch that off and write a blog post. That's the two things that are on there for next week already. This week I have a whole bunch of writing to do, and I'm recording podcasts today on a Thursday morning, and that's it. And I blocked out Mondays because Mondays I'm skiing. So I'm embracing that constraint. And I also embrace the constraint of paper for all of the reading I do. It's super easy to grab your Kindle, and I do use a Kindle because it's great. To grab your Kindle, though, and to highlight tons of things and to write all these notes and then never look at them again. For a long time, I even took them from Kindle, and you can go to the website and then you can export all your notes, and I'd throw them in Evernote, and I would never look at them again. And for a while I thought, their Evernote's context feature, it's going to help surface these articles, and I never did. And it never worked like I expected it, and I never looked at it much anyways after it didn't work like I expected it. So embracing the constraints of that with my quotes, that means that if it's not worth writing down by hand, literally I write every quote down by hand that I take. If you see it in one of my book reviews, I've written it down by hand originally. If it's not good enough for that outlay of effort, for that admitted hand cramping, because I don't handwrite enough, or enough to not to have hand cramps, then it's just not worth it. And embracing those constraints. I embrace other constraints in many other ways, like I only do calls on Tuesdays. That's it. I embrace that constraint. It means that my other days are free. I have one day that I have other people can kind of grab my time, and other than that, I'm free as a bird, per se, as we could say. So today, that means if I recorded podcasts, I could go run out and renew my driver's license. I've got my dog sitting here because I'm going to go for a trail run later. Also embrace the constraints of how much time you work. I was just talking to a client recently, and he was all fired up that he was only going to work 12 hours a day on the weekdays and only 8 or 10 hours on the weekends or something like that, like a day on the weekends. And I looked at him and said, that's insane. And he said, but my wife said it was okay. And I said, get your wife. And we got the wife, and the wife said, well, it used to be 14 hours a day every day, so this is better. And I said, okay, I understand why you did that, but dude, you cannot work like that. That's crazy. Work will expand, much like even in backpacking. If you get a really big backpack, you're just going to fill it. So get a small one and figure out how to make it work is one of the best options. But work will expand to fill the time allotted. So if I said today I can work till 5, which I'm not going to, 8 to 5, I will take all day to probably do the exact same amount of tasks. I've recorded 3 podcasts. It's 8:49. I got here just after 8. I made coffee. I had a couple admin things to do, like pay my rent, stuff like that. And now I've recorded, this is the 3rd podcast. I'll be done podcast recording. I will be letting them render now. But if I didn't, I know I'm going to only work till probably 1 because I have to renew my driver's license. I'm going to go for a 10K run. If I didn't embrace the constraints of limiting my time in the office, and I probably get in the office 30 hours a week. Right now I'm only working 4 days a week because I'm skiing Mondays because my kid has stuff on Saturdays. So I'm only working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Friday's already taken up for all my coaching clients. Tuesday is taken up with calls. So we'll say my work days where I'm writing, reading, and doing any other development client work that I have is only Wednesday and Thursday. That's it. And today I'm not doing any client work. I'm only working on the podcast and on writing. Yesterday I only worked on podcasts and writing, and I think I answered one email for a client. That's it. But embracing those constraints means I can be incredibly effective with my time. Efficient, I don't know if I love efficient or productive, because both of those feel to me like it's doing things just faster, and that's not important. The thing is to be doing them effectively. So I have, if you're on video, you might be able to see my office door is shut. I work in I'm the only renter on this property, basically. I don't necessarily work with anyone here. I work out with some of them, and I've gotten to know them because I did a project for this organization years ago. So I know the people across the office, and we talk occasionally, but most of the time I leave my office door shut and I come in and work. So where most people do 6 hours of work in, say, 8, sometimes 10 hours, I do generally 6 hours of work in like 6.5. That's it. I just come in, I work straight through, and then I go for the day. What you need to do is, instead of trying all these new tools, saying, oh, this new type of inbox is going to be better for me or whatever, embrace the constraints. I highly suggest looking at a paper planner for your day-to-day tasks. So even when I have a client project, I'll look at what's coming up in Red Booth for the next week, and I will block it out on my paper planner. I'll flap it for those in audio, and I block it out on my paper planner. And it lets me look at a week and say, there's no way I can do all of this. I even write down, like, if my wife needs me to come home early because she has an appointment and I need to watch the kids, I write it in my day planner. And then I know as I'm planning the week, which I'll do tomorrow, because today is a Thursday as I'm recording, I'll plan out next week and I'll look through and say, like, what do I have to be home for? And that's it. When I'm doing a speaking engagement somewhere else, I write it in my planner, because I'm going to speak in Vancouver at 6. That means I probably want to leave at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's going to get me there, say 4:30, depending on traffic. Then it's going to give me time, right? If I was like, oh, I'm at 6, I can leave at 4:30. I might get there on time. I might have time to find where I have to go, but I might not. So I write it in here, because that means that I also know that I can't do as much in the day because I have to leave earlier. So I love that. I love the paper planner. I have a fancy $50, what amounts to an ink holder for a pen from Tactile Turn, if you care. But it's really just an ink holder, but it's a fancy pen that feels nice to write with and feels good in the hand. And I want to embrace those constraints. And you need to start embracing them too. Don't just figure you can work late. Don't do that. Get productive with your time. Turn off Twitter. Twitter's not on. Slack's not on. I'm not looking at Facebook. Nothing like that. None of that stuff's on my phone. Because that's not what my goal is, not to do any of those things right now. It's easy to distract myself, and that's really what they are. They are a distraction against the hard work, the hard thinking you need to do right now. So don't let yourself do that. Get focused on your work. Embrace those constraints. Thanks for watching.